Mm, Another possible interpretation is that there is problematic development or a low effectiveness of policies that are imputed to territorial fragmentation. So in this case, we mostly find measures of indirect or implicit urban policy. And third, are we speaking too much? No. And third, as concern the role of politics and political change, actually this turned out to be less influential than we expected, since both center-left and center-right governments have carried out all the four types of policies, except for decentralization of powers, which seems to be a strategy privileged by center-left. There are reasons for this, and you can find something in a written report. Cohesion, competitiveness, as well as institutional integration instead of fragmentation are more or less orthodox principles. And for both the right and the left, but this could also help us to explain why strategies are blurred. So, using this scheme, we can see that area-based programs can be found when the problem is urban disease and social alarm in centralized systems, and both when center-left or center-right govern. And area-based programs with social priority are also present in decentralized systems like Germany, but with the exception that I was speaking before. Area-based programs with economic priority are present in a centralized system and not in a decentralized system, and both in right and or center-right, left, center-left. Respatialization measures are present when the problem is the same, but we don't find it in a decentralized system, and we don't find it when center-right governments are in charge. And then we have decentralization in both centralized and decentralized federal system. This is the case only of Spain and not of Germany, because of central policy named Pacto Local, which aimed to encourage further transfer of powers from the regions to the municipalities. But as soon as the national law was passed, the matter went out from the hands of the central government, and now it depends on the negotiation between regions and local government. So this is a tentative explanation of why do some governments do something or other things. Now we have a wide variety of actions. We have some hypotheses about why do they enter the agendas. But here comes the third question. Do such variety of actions produce what can be actually considered an urban strategy of national government? In order to answer the question, we must consider just some aspects. First, a national urban strategies could not exist in absence of explicit urban policies. I don't think it's necessary to go in depth on this. And another condition is the presence of governmental units in charge of them. Both conditions are present in France and the UK, even though such responsibilities turn out to difficultly provide an overall supervision of every kind of intervention. This also exists, but to a lesser extent in Germany, where both programs and political administrative responsibilities within the central government are present within the Minister of Transportation, but are weaker than if compared to the French administration of the politique de la ville and to the UK Department of Local Government. But what has proved more difficult to be found in each country is coherence among so many different lines of actions, because goals are not only shifting over time, but sometimes also are difficult to reconcile with one another. And this conclusion can be reached looking at the problematic aspects that emerge from both institutional assessment and independent analysis. It would be impossible to present now the evaluation concerning the degree of success of the single types of policies, so everyone who was interested might take a look at the report. In general, what can be said is that area-based programs are not considered that successful, except maybe for the German case. But the politique de la ville is always reformed, and every government thinks that it has to leave its mark, because there are reports that say that results have not been accomplished and so on. And also, the evidence-based British policymaking makes large use of program assessment, and according to them, results would not be so brilliant. To some extent, this also concerned the policies of respatialization carried out in France and the UK, whose impacts on cities and on especially on economic performances and the success in promoting a larger scale policymaking would be weaker than expected. And it also would offer opportunities for local actors' opportunistic behavior. Besides, it appears difficult to coordinate instruments of respatialization, that means establish new institutions or reorganize the relationships between the institutions, with decentralization.